Beastly Gamer here, guys, and I'm joined today by a fantastic YouTuber that many know about. The young man is BriarRabbit. Thanks for joining us today, BriarRabbit.
Thanks for having me, Beasley. It's really fun to be on.
Thank you. Now, I've been waiting for a long time and anxiously anticipating your arrival on Beastly Thoughts. We talked about this a few weeks ago, and I'm so excited to have someone who shares my love of the video game industry, video games in general, to be here to share your thoughts on what's going on now, especially with the new generation.
Holy cow, there's so
Because
much to talk about.
oh yeah, it's too much to talk about, but I'm happy I got somebody here who can sit across on that plateau and share some of their love and thoughts on the console wars and what's going on with these main three. I can say the main three. I got to include Nintendo in there because I love Nintendo. But I, like you, got a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of it's a little dim on this side, but I got my PS4 on release day, and I've been really enjoying it. I saw that you went out and did the same thing. What are your thoughts on the console in general at this point? It's been out now for going on 2 weeks.
I'm really happy with it. It shipped in a state. Well, we had that 1.5 system update right at the beginning, which I was lucky enough to know that I had to download beforehand. But I'm really happy with it. It is fairly feature complete. Like, my headset works great with it. I actually enjoy the PlayStation camera. I like the functionality that brings. I like that new messaging system so you can actually see what your friends are up to without having to go into your friends list. I think that's pretty cool. There's a bunch of stuff in there that I'm really impressed with, and the games look fantastic. I mean, I'm really impressed.
I personally, man, Killzone blew my mind when I saw it.
Yeah.
Battlefield 4, when you see it on YouTube, and you hear YouTubers say it a lot, when you see something on YouTube, it does not compare with actual 1080p on your TV.
No, because in my situation, it's getting recorded by the Game Capture HD, and that's got to compress it a little bit, and then I render it through on my computer. That compresses it a little bit, and then I give it to YouTube, and they compress it a little bit. So it's like 3 different times it's gone through some kind of a transition, and you just lose quality every time. So,
yeah.
I try and give you the best quality I can with each video I put up, but there's only so much you can do. It's just going to lose quality a little bit at a time.
Now I must say, I am in the process right now of getting Elgato HD game.
Oh, yeah.
Between that and Roxy Elgato is probably what I'm going to end up getting. I am really new to this, but I love it. It's fantastic. This is something I could probably see myself doing for the rest of my life, just share my thoughts on game consoles. Now, I did have an issue with my PS4 initially on day one. When I brought it home, I didn't think ahead. I didn't download the 1.5 patch onto a flash drive or anything.
Yep.
I was online and I braved that storm. when I went on with to do the patch, initially my system froze. It locked up on me. And I think I sat there and looked at the screen for about 15 minutes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because I didn't know, it's new hardware, and you don't know what, you're hearing all these stories of bricked consoles. You got people, IGN, everybody's talking about problems with the console, and I didn't want to hit that button and potentially go haywire. I'm going back to the store to take it on PS4. Luckily for me, I did end up resetting the console. And from that point on, I've had no issues. I personally love the messaging system as well. I think the camera's great. I think that future functionality with it is going to probably, I don't know if it'll ever reach Kinect levels, because Kinect, the Xbox One, is built around the Kinect.
Yeah, I think there's hardware differences between the Kinect and the PlayStation camera.
Now, you have them both. Go ahead and explain to me the differences that you've noticed.
Well, the first impression I have with the Xbox One, I got that a week after I got the PlayStation 4, and I can't stand the controller. I've gotten used to it a little bit as I've...
Oh, Matt Byrne, you can't stand the Xbox One controller?
I mean, all right, so I have the Xbox One controller, and I have the Xbox 360 controller here. And to me, the Xbox 360 controller is a superior controller. They took a step back with the Xbox One controller. These thumbsticks are too loose. They're great for Forza, but I'm just not as accurate when I'm playing a shooter as I am with the Xbox 360 controller. Also, these triggers are so wide. I don't know. Can you see them? Like, they're just huge.
They kind of come out, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like them. So what I'm hoping for is, actually, this is a Xbox 360 controller, but it's a SCUF gaming controller. And what I'm hoping for is that SCUF can fix the issues I have with this controller.
Wow. So in that department, Sony has definitely taken off. Sony They had major issues with the DualShock 3.
Oh yeah, that
Many
was a crappy
people,
controller.
yeah, I know. I went through quite a few of
Yeah,
those. When I initially held the PlayStation DualShock 4, I don't know, man. It felt so natural. It felt like it was made to be in my hand.
it's the
Uh,
most comfortable controller I've ever used.
yeah, I got big hands.
Me too.
I have big. Yeah, we're real men. Okay? I got big hands, so when I grabbed that controller and I felt it, it felt so precise. The actual thumbsticks, man, your fingers aren't going anywhere.
No.
The concave design of the triggers now. I wasn't used to, I know on Xbox 360 when you use a shooter, it's usually the R and L triggers.
That's
The
right.
back triggers are what you
It,
see.
it was
With the
reversed on the
PlayStation
PS3.
3, yeah, PS3 was R1 and L1, and when I first booted up Battlefield 4 on the PS4, that whole new dynamic. It felt so different, but it felt so right. It just made sense.
Yeah.
And now that I'm actually really getting into Call of Duty Ghosts, it took me a while. I just completed Killzone Shadowfall.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be uploading my review after we get done here. But that R2 and L2 trigger functionality, it just makes sense. It feels so good.
Yeah.
And Kate, my wife, at first she was having a little issue with it. And now she's like, I can't go back.
No.
Can't go back. It makes sense. I love the controls.
I never liked the DualShock 3 controller. It was too small. It cramped my hands. The way that thing was shaped, I have one over there, but and the triggers were so mushy, they had to switch them for shooters to make them the buttons. But going from a 360 controller to a PS3 controller, it was a step down. But now I feel like it's reversed. I feel like the DualShock 4 is a superior controller to the Xbox One controller. And I'm really surprised by that because, I mean, they made some strides forwards with the Xbox One controller, but they definitely made some strides backward too. I don't know if they'll fix it like they did with the original Xbox controller. Remember the old Duke controller?
Yeah.
Where they actually improved that controller with I think it was the controller S. And that was kind of
And that was the beginning.
Yeah.
That led to the 360 control. Now, what do you think about the touchpad on the PlayStation 4 DualShock controller?
I haven't used it much. I've used it for that playroom thing, and that's about it.
Oh, have you tried Killzone Shadowfall?
I've only played the multiplayer so far. I haven't jumped in for the single player.
Now, this touchpad does work. It's extremely sensitive. I mean, you can use it kind of like a mouse.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that they've actually incorporated it into Killzone Shadowfall's campaign, they've added 4 new buttons to it. Like if you swipe up, down, left, or right, it'll control your owl. Your owl will go out and do whatever those directions entail for it to do, and it feels incredibly natural. I think that the future functionality of that touchpad is going to open up kind of a whole new control scheme, kind of the way the Nintendo 64 did with the first analog. This is something so new, and it feels like it has a lot of staying power. As long as the developers, incorporate that functionality into their games, I think it's going to be amazing. It really is, and you can click it as another button too.
I was hoping that we'd be able to use it to just mouse around to do text input, like when you're just trying to type. It wasn't until I think today where I figured out you can steer your text input by just doing this. I thought that was pretty cool. I could see you getting a lot faster at text input.
I think Sony made I can't say all because nobody's perfect, but I think Sony has made a lot of great decisions when it comes to their controller design. Now, for the last 7 years, Sony has been getting, the crap kicked out of them by the consumer because their controller just was not up to snuff with the Xbox 360 controller.
I tried to buy an adapter to put a 360 controller on my PS3.
Yeah, I had to. I don't like to admit that. But I did. The Xbox 360 controller was the dominant controller. But the thing is, when you have that title for so long, you can become complacent. And it seems that may be what Microsoft's issue was. We're the best controller. There's no way nobody's going to touch us. Let's work with what we have, change a few things, and it worked out for the worst.
I should say, I think that part of my problem is that I'm switching between the PS4 and the Xbox One, like almost on an hour-to-hour basis. So going from the stiff thumbsticks and the nice triggers to the Xbox One's looser thumbsticks and bulky triggers, I think it's throwing me off. I feel more at home on the PlayStation 4. I play a lot of Call of Duty, so normally that's what I'm playing. I feel much more at home with the PlayStation 4. I think that if you only bought an Xbox One, I don't think you'd have the same issue that I'm having. I think it's, you'd probably have that issue for the first day or so, but then you'd get used to it.
Yeah, you'd kind of adapt to the situation.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. You've seen you have Call of Duty on both consoles,
Yeah,
correct?
that's correct.
Now, graphically, I'm not seeing that much of a
I
difference.
can't
I
tell
don't
a
really see
difference.
that
I can't tell a
at all.
difference. No.
To be quite honest. Uh, of course, we know that the Xbox One's Call of Duty is running natively at 720p, upscaled to 1080, and the PlayStation 4 is native 1080p, both 60 frames per second. Now, I've heard a lot of people say on the Xbox One it actually looks better. Uh, it
Microsoft has a trick up their sleeve with that. I think they're boosting the contrast ratio, and I think they did that on the 360 as well. And I think that's why a lot of people thought 360 games look better, whereas a PS3 game would look a little bit washed out comparatively. I think that's because Microsoft boosts the contrast coming out of the system. I think they're doing that again with the Xbox One.
so they're fooling the consumer. They're fooling your eyes a little
Yeah,
bit.
I think so.
Now, what do you think about the overall graphics of the PS4? Like as far as the next generation. Now, if we go back in time from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2,
Yeah,
it was a huge graphical jump. When PlayStation 2 came out, games like Tekken Tag Tournament were released. Then the PlayStation 3 came out, and we saw another huge leap in graphics. Do you think that the leap from the PlayStation 3 to the 4 is as great as some of the older generations?
I actually disagree. Well, I only half agree with you here because when the PlayStation 3 came out a year after the 360, and there was no leap there. I think what we saw was games like Gun and games that were being developed on both consoles, the old Xbox and the new Xbox 360, and then the PlayStation 3 came in a year later and got the added bonus of having an extra year of development time. So the games that were cross-platform with the 360 and the PS3 had an extra year that the 360 didn't have. But when the 360 got released at first, we had games like Perfect Dark and Gun that looked like regular Xbox One games with higher resolution graphics. I think that's what we're seeing right now on both the PS3 or the PS4 and the Xbox One. And I think next Christmas, we'll really start to see the benefits. Although Assassin's Creed Black Flag looks awesome, Resogun looks awesome. I think Call of Duty looks awesome. Killzone looks cool. What else we got here? Battlefield looks
this is what
cool.
this is what I'll say about the graphics. Now, I have Call of Duty on the PS3 and the PS4.
Yeah.
The graphic jump from generation is huge. Okay. Now the Call of Duty engine is pretty much the same engine,
Mm-hmm.
but it looks a hell of a lot better on this new console. It truly does. I mean, when I went through part of the campaign, Kate beat the campaign. You wouldn't even think it was the same game if you just set it side by side with the old consoles. Now, but I said personally when I first got the PS4 that Call of Duty was graphically on the lower spectrum of the games I got. I did get Killzone. I did get Battlefield 4, and I got Call of Duty. Now, graphically, those other two games are more graphics powerhouses.
Agreed.
I haven't even touched Battlefield 4 yet. Haven't even touched
Well,
it.
don't bother
I
because
think
it doesn't run.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I put up one of the best videos the most views I've gotten in the last month was a Battlefield 4 PlayStation 4 video. And since I put up that video, I'd like to play more Battlefield 4, but it crashes all the time on me. And
Oh, wow.
they just put up a patch. I haven't played since the patch came. I think the patch came Wednesday or Tuesday, so I haven't played since then. But it's been bad. I mean, it crashes like you're trying to start a game. It crashes. It crashes during the game. It's been terrible.
Well, okay. I actually got on it yesterday. I think yesterday was the first time. I beat Killzone. I've been playing Killzone Shadowfall online, which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing things there that are really something different. It's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
But I think Killzone Shadowfall's multiplayer is really great. And I told Kate, I said 64 players, babe.
Yeah.
And she was like, let me see. I want to see. And I went in and it loaded up and it booted up fine. And I don't think we had that many people in the room, but I didn't get kicked, so I guess I got a little lucky. Hopefully this patch will iron things out because that's where I'm going to next.
Yeah.
I don't think that Call of Duty Ghosts particularly has the staying power of Black Ops 2.
I don't know. I really like this Call of Duty. Like I think it's a
I'm-
better game than Black Ops 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're more of an authority on the Call of Duties than I am. Honestly, I've only put in 7 hours online.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a lot of time. And especially, going back and forth between that and Killzone. The only thing about Call of Duty Ghosts that really irked me, and it still gets me every now and then, is the levels are huge.
Yeah, they're big.
They are huge. And there are multi-tiered areas that you can walk out and get shot 8 different directions, so you can never truly have the drop or have any kind of advantage. And on top of that, it seems that an enemy might come around the corner, pop off one shot. That's how it appears to you.
Yeah.
One shot, you hit the ground, then you watch the kill cam, and there was a battle going on, and you may have fired off 2 shots, and it just, I don't know. I have really good internet, fast internet, and sometimes that gets me.
Yeah.
But I've yet to put in any real hardcore time on Call of Duty Ghosts, but I'm going to take your word for it because you're one of the guys that actually inspired me to want to begin to do this, and you inspired me with Call of Duty. And you say that it has the potential to be better than Black Ops 2. Give me some of the pros of it.
Okay, so I like the big levels. I like the multi-tiered levels because it's more to learn. So Black Ops 2, I learned all those levels in, 2 weeks. They were small. There was only so many routes you could run. It was a quick learn. These bigger levels with more tiers, more sight lines, more windows that you got to be looking out for. I feel like it's a little more to learn. It's a little more to sink your teeth into, and I like that. I understand it's harder at the beginning because you don't know what the hell's going on, but I think in the long term, it's just more. There's just more quality, or not quality, but there's more to learn. There's just more there. Okay, so and then
so basically what you're saying is there's a higher learning curve, but the payoff in the end is much greater.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's going to be a bigger skill gap than there was in Black Ops 2, so that you'll see that the better players have super high KDs, and the players who are just starting off have really low KDs, and that you'll see that there's just a wide range in between. Whereas in Black Ops 2, there was just so many baloney deaths. C4 everybody was running C4, and anybody's going to get a kill with it, right? And the quick scoping became pretty hard to deal with by the end of that game. Whereas that anybody could just jump in and get a few kills with a sniper scope, and you really had no defense because there's so many snipers around that there's nothing you could do about it. I really believe that this game is going to be. There's going to be a bigger skill gap. There's more to learn. I'm hoping that they don't. A lot of people are yelling at the developers right now, saying that the maps are too big and blah, blah, blah. I really like the big maps. I like having more to learn and more to see, and it's just more fun to me that way.
Now, you said the quick scoping. I know that was a major issue in Black Ops 2. Has that truly been addressed in Call of Duty Ghosts?
I think it's harder to do than it was in Black Ops 2. I think the aim assist was too strong on Black Ops 2 for the sniper rifles, and I think there's less of it now.
Around, yeah.
But there is definitely quick scoping. The developer said there wouldn't be quick scoping in this, and there definitely is. I mean, you can do it.
Now, on to the other console, because we could talk about Call of Duty all day.
Good.
How are you enjoying that Xbox One? Now, you did get a few release games. What did you grab?
I grabbed Call of Duty Ghosts, Dead Rising 3, which is phenomenal. I really have fun with that. And Forza 5, which is also good. And the controller that I've been complaining about, it makes it sing. I mean, this controller sings when you're playing Forza. The triggers rumble, and you can feel your tires slipping through that rumble. The looseness of the analog stick just makes it so precise to steer. It's really a good controller for Forza.
Okay, so that's the thing. It's a fantastic controller for Forza, but you're having issues with it when it comes to precision first-person shooters.
Yeah, like Battlefield. Well, really, I'm just playing Call of Duty. I'm playing Call of Duty, and I have trouble being precise with my aim. But I'm moving between the PS4 and the Xbox One, so that could be the issue.
So you're getting spoiled on the PS4.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
And so you go to the Xbox One, you're like, oh, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. A game that I've been wanting to try, a buddy of mine, actually, he bought an Xbox One, but didn't get what I wanted to play, which was Dead Rising.
Oh, man, it's so cool.
Really?
Yeah, it's really fun.
Now, I know that the number of zombies on screen at once has been just, it's ridiculous. Thousands at one time.
Yeah. You're running around, or you're driving this thing that you build. You combine a motorcycle and a steamroller, and you're literally steamrolling zombies by the dozens. And it's just, I mean, there's just like blood like spurting out, and the game is just oozes fun. Like there's not a serious bone in this game's body, but it's fun as hell.
So it doesn't take itself too serious. Now, that's some of the things I've been reading. It doesn't take itself too serious. So it's more of the same, but it's just much, much better.
Yeah.
And something that we'll probably won't see on the PS4.
No, right? I think it's a Microsoft first-party game.
She was talking to me this morning, my wife, for those who don't know, I'm married, and she was asking me when we're going to get an Xbox One.
Yeah.
And I looked at her. I said, "We're getting one."
I can do it. I can do it. Well, now you, I think you can afford it from what you were telling me.
We're going to get one. I'll probably more than likely wait for a little bit to see if they do a price drop.
Yeah.
They're talking about potentially dropping it in the first quarter of 2014. So if
I
they drop
can't
it,
imagine they do that.
you think that they're doing that well enough to not drop?
Yeah, I think so. I think that'd be admitting defeat on Microsoft's part. I think they sold 1 million consoles in launch weekend. They got Shadowfall coming out, which everybody's looking forward to. Yeah.
You mean Titanfall?
Titanfall, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you said Shadow.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
yeah, Titanfall is coming out.
I was wondering, what's this Shadowfall game? No, the thing that Microsoft kind of duped people on, because I was aware that Major Nelson came out and talked about the million sales in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Same thing the PS4 did. Now, when PS4 did it on November 15th, it was mind-boggling because it was like Guinness Book of World Records type stuff, the fastest selling 24-hour console of all time. And so Microsoft come out and they did the exact same thing, or right around that same number, but they omitted certain facts about the sale.
Yeah.
See, the PS4 was only released in 2 territories.
Yeah.
It was released here and in Canada. Xbox One was released in 13 territories, including the United States, which is their biggest fan base. They're hated in Japan. People don't like the imperialist Xbox over there. So their biggest sales would be here and in Europe. And so they released in 13 territories and matched Sony's sales. So I think that if Sony had released in the same amount of territories, that gap would be huge. But I'm not taking it away from Microsoft.
No.
I think just even doing 1 million console sales in 13 territories is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Especially the fact that you got a console that's $100 more expensive than your competition. It comes shipped with something that a majority of your consumers don't want. A lot of people didn't want the Kinect 2.0. So the fact that they were able to get it out to so many consumers is a huge achievement for Microsoft, and I think it's wonderful business. And the fact they're doing so well, I think it's going to drive this next generation to a high plateau. Of course, I don't think it'll reach PC gaming levels because that'll always change. But with them doing as well as they're doing and having the Microsoft fan base that they have, and I think that these two consoles are going to go to war. It's going to be a beautiful thing for people like us.
That's right. The only people who win in a console war is the consumer, and I am ready to win.
Yeah, well, let's win in there, buddy.
I like to win.
I think it's going to be a wonderful thing. We got some great games coming out in 2014 for both consoles. Yeah. Right now, I think, initially I was going to get the Xbox One on release day. I was going to get them both. A week apart, everybody at work knew it. But the thing that stopped me was when E3 came out and the whole DRM thing came out. And these restrictive policies. And when I heard that, I was sitting in front of the computer and I was like, no, they got to be kidding, right? That they don't want me to be able to sell my games. They want me to have a 24-hour online. And all these things came out, and at that point I said, screw Microsoft. And a lot of people, I talked to many people on YouTube and social networks, and they say you shouldn't be so critical of Microsoft because they did turn around and do a 180. That can be respected, but it all depends on how you look at it, because it would have been different if they did that 180 on their own and they felt like they did it because they didn't want to do the consumer wrong. But I think they did the 180 because they saw at E3 that they lost a ton of their fans.
Yeah, but they are a business and they have to, they have to, if they see that nobody's going to buy this thing, then they have to change their mind. My biggest problems with the Xbox One are the fact that it seems to have shipped pretty much feature incomplete. Like, headsets don't work well with it. You can't chat through a headset. I've got a $300 headset here, and it doesn't work with the Xbox One. It just doesn't work,
Seriously?
Yeah, you have to use that chat adapter. Hold on a second here. I'm sure you remember these things from the Xbox 360 days. You got to use this thing to chat on the Xbox One. Who wants to use that? I got a $300 gaming headset. Unacceptable. What? Unacceptable. And they
now these are things that they are working to fix, correct?
Yeah, but I mean, come on. I paid my $500. I'd like a feature. I'd like the features that I want the most to be working, and a working headset is a pretty big feature to me. Also,
well, yeah, you always tout your headsets, and believe it or not, listening to one of your videos that you did on Call of Duty Ghosts, I've been on eBay these last few days. I'm waiting for a good deal
Yeah.
because I don't have a particular surround sound system. I was either going to do that or get me a gaming headset so I can enjoy some of these perks that you use in Call of Duty Ghosts, because I tried it with the mono headset and it just doesn't
No,
work.
you have to.
I mean,
You have to have a headset with Call of Duty Ghosts if you want to succeed.
yeah, okay, great. And Twitch functionality on Xbox One doesn't come in day one either.
Nope,
Correct?
that's correct as well. As you cannot stream. I mean, you can stream if you have a capture card, but you can't do it out of the box like you can with the PlayStation 4. There's a bunch of stuff. For some reason, I'm not able to think of any of those things at the moment, but there are a ton of things that just like
You can make annotations later.
Yeah,
Let me ask you. I actually want to say something for all the guys who follow me and follow BriarRabbit. They know Beastly Gamer doesn't particularly smile at the Xbox One every day.
Yeah.
But when Briar got up and was walking around earlier, this camera was following him.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I was looking at it like, what's going on here? You know, what kind of application is he using on his computer? And he came back and sat down, and I said, hey, Briar, I want to get that camera that you got there. That's really damn nice. It's following
It
you
only
around.
cost me $500.
Xbox One Connect. I said, no. Yeah, that camera is really great. I think it's fantastic.
You know, it's a really good camera, and I've used it for a few things. You know, a lot's been talked about using the. I don't want to say any of the commands because I'm actually recording this conversation on the console right now. So if I were to talk about the console, it's gonna start playing around with the voice commands. But those voice commands work pretty cool, well, and they're pretty cool to use. I really actually think it's pretty cool. The camera quality is great. It does a great job of following you and zooming in to the proper level. I wish it would zoom in just a little bit closer on my face right now, but there's no manual control for it, which would be nice in the Skype application. But yeah, I mean,
personally, I think it's great. You know, I guess I'm being more and more sold, especially if my wife wasn't an Xbox One.
Yeah.
But that camera's great. The PS4's camera's pretty good too. I don't think that it is up to snuff as the Kinect because it's not something that Sony has touted as the future.
Yeah, but it also costs a lot less.
Yeah, it's what, $59, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was $59. Yeah, $60 camera that does function as a voice command hub. You can't, turn on your PS4, but you can turn it off. You can go to games. You can do certain things with it, log in, log out, which, it's pretty decent for starting off. But I think in the future, with a few updates, it'll be up to snuff and be able to do a lot more than just.
It has two cameras on it, so it can see you in 3 dimensions. So there's a lot of flexibility that it offers. I think one of the differences with the Kinect is that it has an infrared camera, so it can use nice. It can use that infrared camera to tell, distances and heat signatures. Somebody told me at one point that it can detect your pulse. I don't know if that's true or not, or if that was just a rumor.
It can.
That's crazy.
That's something that Microsoft actually touted. Yeah. Major Nelson went on. I can't remember who he did the interview with, but yeah, it can detect your pulse, your heart rate. It really can. The camera is amazing, but I don't see it working for everyday functionality. I mean, who would want to? I gotta see what my heart rate is right now. Click. Oh God, I gotta get to the doctor.
There are a bunch of fitness apps on the Xbox One that I haven't tried out yet, although I certainly should. I think they'll probably come into that. That functionality will probably come into play with those fitness apps, but it's not core gaming stuff.
Insanity, right? Isn't Shanti's Insanity?
Yeah.
Bundled with Xbox One?
Yeah, there's you get a 1-year subscription to a few of these things, and I just haven't had a moment since the PlayStation 4 came out. I have been either playing the video game or editing a video game ever since.
Right. Let me ask you a question. Have you since these new consoles, the next generation has come upon us, have you gone back to the PS3 or the 360?
No.
Not once.
No.
Me.
When the PlayStation 4 came out, I still had my 360 hooked up until the Xbox One came out, and I never turned it on until I unplugged it and put the Xbox One in its place.
Oh, so it's gone. Wow. And I got 5 PS3s, and I used one of them. And the only thing that I use it for, believe it or not, is YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love the YouTube functionality on the PS3. The PS4 did not come with it. And that kind of it hurt because I like to watch my
The
videos.
PS4 doesn't have
other
YouTube on it. I didn't even realize that.
terrible.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
I actually got on the phone with Sony last night, and I was asking them when are they planning on doing these little updates that allow little functionality like MP3 support, external hard drive support. Another thing that the PlayStation 4 does not do that I can't really say I'm upset about it, but it is a down. When you buy a movie on the PlayStation 3 or even the PlayStation Vita, you can download it to your actual console.
Yeah.
From the PlayStation Store. It's actually it's not physical, but it's a download that exists on your physical system.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 4 has no functionality for
So
that.
you're always streaming?
So always streaming.
No kidding.
I had to call Sony last night, and she said they're going to know me by name, but I don't care. If you spend money on something, you shouldn't have to be online to watch a movie. And he said the representative said at this time Sony doesn't have any plans to add the functionality to download your films to the console. You have to stream them. And to me, that's just something that doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, I'd rather have a downloaded copy. And I don't even care about like owning that downloaded copy. I just think the quality of the viewing experience would be better.
Yeah, well, the PlayStation 4 does something called what is it? I'm trying to remember. It does a check, a speed check of your actual internet speed, and it shows you what quality you'll be able to stream from standard to high definition. I'm somewhere right on the high definition end, so it'll be okay. But for people who don't have fast internet, they're going to suffer tremendously.
No, I don't want that. Yeah, I want to download that thing. I want it to take 8 hours if it needs 8 hours. But when I'm ready to watch the movie, I want to see it in the best quality. I want to see it in Blu-ray quality. If I paid $20 for that movie, I could have paid $20 at Kmart and bought it, on a Blu-ray. If I'm going to pay you the same money, I want that quality.
What do you think about this? Like guys like Broken Games HD, who you probably know who he is, he traded in his PS3 for his PS4. And I don't know if he actually owned any PlayStation Network films, but if he did, he would have lost all those and had to stream them all from this point on. The PS4 is a great piece of hardware. I'm looking at it right now. It's so sexy. Looks like a giant chunky bar. It's a beautiful piece of hardware. It has some fantastic innards, but the things that they forgot seem to be elementary.
There's more time, though. There's time for them to update this stuff, Getting the MP3 functionality, getting that CD player functionality. They can just, they can update that stuff. I think these guys, both Microsoft and Sony, were in a real rush to get these things to market. And I think they had crunch time at the end there, and they just weren't able to put in all the features that they wanted to at launch.
Now, let me ask you a question, BriarRabbit. As far as the future, what are some of the games coming in the next year or two that have gotten your blood boiling or gotten you excited about the PS4 and Xbox One?
Titanfall and Destiny.
Oh, Titanfall, I swear. As much as I was upset with Microsoft over this whole debacle, the DRM, that game was one that I had to have.
The game looks sick.
You gotta.
It's made by the guys who made Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah,
and it's got like all this new gameplay that just looks so fast paced and like so much fun. Calling these mechs in from the sky, they just get dropped down. You can hop in, you can hop out, you can rip guys out of their mechs. You run across walls, jumping around with a jetpack. It just looks like fun. Yeah. Like it looks like genuine fun.
It looks incredible.
And everybody who's played it says it's awesome.
Oh, so they played the early mods. Yeah. It's coming. What's the release date of that? It's coming out next year.
I want to say it's March.
March? Yeah. Might be a birthday gift for me. I got to talk to Kate about it.
Is it your birthday in March?
Yeah, I'm a Pisces.
I am too.
Me personally. Oh, you are too? Great birth dates. I got to say, I'm really excited about the new Kingdom Hearts. I'm excited about the new Final Fantasy. I'm excited about the potential of this new. I'm trying to remember. It's the continuation of the Shadow of the Colossus.
Team Eco. Is that?
Yeah, Team Eco's new game that they've been pushing back consistently. That game's going to be amazing. Of course, Uncharted.
I love those games.
Yeah, that's going to be a system seller. I haven't had a chance to play Black Flag on the PS4. Now I have it on PS3. Okay. What you said? PS4 is truly a beautiful
Oh, it's
game, huh?
gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. I have a video on my channel of a 20-minute, I think it's like 20-minute playthrough, because I couldn't decide what I wanted to show. All I wanted to do was make a video like, here's what it looks like to play it on the PlayStation 4. And I wanted to chop it down to like 5-6 minutes so that, you could just get a feel for what it looks like. But there's like this guy running through the jungle, that looked amazing. There's some sailing, that looked amazing. And then the guy gets to his first town, and he crawls up on his first tower and gets like the vista, that like hawk view thing they do in that game. And like all those parts just look so good. I'm like, screw it, it's gonna be a 20-minute video. Nobody use the internet for the next 24 hours. I gotta upload.
It might be something I have to definitely pick up then. When I saw it on the PS3, I have it on the PS3. It just didn't excite me. Especially it being a late generation game after playing games like The Last of Us. I was like, graphically, it just didn't. And I felt like more than likely they made it for the next gen consoles and just dumbed it down.
Yeah. Have you played the other Assassin's Creeds?
I played the first two.
Okay, I liked the first one. I thought it was awesome. And then the second one I really enjoyed too. But then they started coming out with these yearly updates, and they lost me. I didn't play Assassin's Creed Brotherhood or whatever.
3 and to me, and they say the story gets kind of everywhere as you continue with the game. I haven't had that much time. Now you're kind of like me. You're a family man. You do YouTube. You work. I got 4 kids. They're all here, and they're all being quiet in their rooms playing video games as I consistently get darker. Yeah, I'm getting darker and darker. The sun's going down, guys, down here in Georgia. I'm getting darker and darker. But being a father, raising children, playing video games every day or whenever you can get the chance to, and working 5 days a week, it can take its toll. And so a lot of times, unless a game is something that I feel like I absolutely have to play now, I'll let it sit and wait until I go on vacation or something, because I don't have the time like I used to when I was a teenager anymore. When The Last of Us came out, I had to do it. Okay, when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, I had to do it. I don't feel like there are particularly any PS4 games that I have to do it on, but the fact that it's PS4, I'm just doing it. Now, I beat Killzone's Shadowfall's campaign, and it was underwhelming.
Yeah,
it really was. When I saw the game graphically, I was like, this is absolutely stunning. I've never seen anything like this. It's beautiful. You're outdoors. It just looks like the real world. Is just amazing. And then when you get done with the game, you're like, what the hell did I just do? The story of the game, and they just hired actually Fallout New Vegas as writer.
Yeah, that's exciting because that game was phenomenal.
They hired, I forget his name, but the gentleman who wrote that game, they hired him, Guerrilla did, for a project they said is not Killzone related. But hopefully they can utilize his talents for another Killzone game, because the story did not draw me
in. What do you think about the gameplay, though, of the Killzone series? It's never really felt as tight to me as Call of Duty. If like Call of Duty or Halo are like the high bar, it's always been second class.
The big difference for me, I love Halo, first of all. Let me say, I love Halo. I think it's a fantastic game. And, who doesn't love Call of Duty? You got to be crazy if you don't love Call of Duty. The difference for me there is that Killzone is heavy. When you move around in that game, you feel the weight of the character, the weight of the guns, and your reaction time is going to be slower. It's kind of an acquired thing. It's also very, very drum and bleak and depressing, and you feel that weight. It's almost like carrying a bag of bones on you, and you're playing the game. And of course, Killzone is known for its multiplayer. To me, the game has always been extremely heavy. That's something they tried to change in Shadowfall. And believe it or not, I know you don't have a PlayStation Vita. Where's my Vita at? It's somewhere around here. Killzone Mercenary for PlayStation Vita is as good as any PS3 first-person shooter.
Really?
That's the beastly promise. Yes. It is as
the beastly
good
guarantee. All this and more for $19.99.
If it's not, you can mail it to me and I'll eat it on YouTube. Killzone Mercenary is a fantastic game. Graphically, it is amazing. You would not think that you're on a handheld. The story is, it's here and there a little bit. You're a mercenary. You're motivated by money.
Yeah.
But the play mechanic, you don't have an owl or anything, but you can use touch pads. in both analogs, and it's very responsive, and it's a great game. I loved it. That was probably, it may have been as good as Killzone 3 to
So let
me.
me ask
You
you
know,
this:
it's
You've got the PlayStation 4 now. A lot's been talked about the compatibility between the Vita and the PlayStation 4. Are you doing any of that? Do you find it's a useful feature?
uh, let me explain for those who are not initiated. The PlayStation 4 and Vita remote play functionality works extremely well. Okay, but there is, for me, almost no reason to use it. Now, the reason I say that is they have not. Let's go back. Let's take a few steps back. PlayStation 3 and PSP, the PlayStation Portable, they had remote play functionality as well. This means that you can be playing certain PS3 games and you can use the remote play functionality, turn that PSP on, and play that game. Now, with the PSP, I think it only worked with PlayStation 1 games, which was pretty bad. But it worked. And when it did work, it worked okay. There was a lot of latency issues. They have but one thing about the PSP version that actually made it good was that you could access your PS3 from anywhere. Anywhere that had a Wi-Fi
Yeah,
connection,
okay. You
you
can't
could
do that now.
access your. No, and I don't understand why. Uh, you have to be at this point now. Who knows what kind of update they may come up with in the future? At this point, you have got to be in the local area. You've got to be right within your Wi-Fi space to connect with your PS3. The PS Vita, when you connect it to the PS4, it doesn't look for Wi-Fi. It looks for the PS4. So you can't be down the street or at the coffee house or the bookstore or your sister's house. You got to be right there. But when it does work, it works great. But the thing is, you cannot. The system will have the game on it too. If you look at your big screen, the game, whatever you're doing on the PS Vita, will be going on the screen. So I feel like, what's the point? Just to show someone that the hardware functionality, what you can actually do with it. Yeah, that's great. There's very little latency. Call of Duty Ghosts, they actually added some buttons onto the PS Vita screen.
Oh, really?
So yeah, when you're playing Call of Duty Ghosts on the PlayStation Vita, on the screen you got your grenade button, you got your tactical, and all that, and it runs around great, just like it does on the PS4.
I don't use that junk anyway. I knife like a man.
Oh, I walk around with a fork. Yeah, so to me, that's it. It's like it's a great thing to show off. Like if you got people come over, hey, check out what the PS4 can do. Oh, that's amazing. But you can't go anywhere with it. You can't go to down the street and say, check out my PS4. It just doesn't work that way. So to me, it's almost like it's a shot in the dark. It's like they wanted to do something with it, but they didn't know how to incorporate it in a way that's actually meaningful. Now, if they're able to do this, even at home, in a way that you could still use the PS4 on the screen to do other things, like go online or listen to music or play another game or something like that. But if you're stuck, your wife says, hey, look, I want to watch TV.
Yeah.
Use your Vita. You look at her and say, okay, I will. And she's still looking at you play your game on the TV. It's pointless. Unless you got an awesome
Wait a
wife who
minute.
wants
So
to play the game with you.
if you have the PlayStation, or your TV is tuned to, let's say you have a cable box, the PlayStation 4 can't operate your Vita if it's not displaying on the TV?
Well, you can always change the channel and go to your cable.
So it will work. So for the Wii U, in my house, the kids will be playing the Wii U with that, the Wii U controller on the couch, and that allows somebody else to be doing something else on the TV, even though they're playing a full game. Okay. So you can do that, though, right? No. You can't do that.
The PS4, if you hit that PlayStation button while you're doing the remote play, it'll take away the remote play, pauses everything. You can't just go in and do any other thing with the PlayStation 4. That's what I'm saying. It's stuck doing that. If you play Killzone Shadowfall right now and you're doing remote play, whatever you're doing on the PlayStation Vita will be displayed on the screen. Okay. If you try to change it on the PlayStation, it's stuck.
But somebody can be watching TV while you're playing on your Vita.
You could change your TV channel and go to cable or go to another input and do things like that. But I think it'd be better if they allowed you, while it's doing that kind of that kind of functionality, to do something else with the PS4. To me, that would make it a better value. Because what's the point? You got a PS4 here, you got to unplug it. You hook up something else to it, or go to your PS3 or your Xbox 360. I mean, to me personally, I just think it'd be better if you were able to use other functionality at the same time. But you got to crawl before you walk. Yeah. This is something that Sony's been working at for a long time. They tried it with the PSP, and it was a massive failure. If you ask me, the Vita is a huge, huge step
Mm-hmm.
up from what the PSP was able to do. So I mean, I'm happy to see it. I think it's a great step forward, but you can't. I'm trying to have my cake and eat
Yeah.
it too. You gotta.
Hey, you're
gotta
talking to a
wait.
guy that used to have a 32-inch TV right next to a 50-inch TV, so that I could watch the baseball game while I'm playing the baseball game.
Wow. Okay.
Talk about having your cake and eating it too. It was nice to be a bachelor.
Yeah. You know what? Me and Kate, we've been together 5 years,
Yeah.
man. And I remember when I first bought my second 360, we got another TV. We only had at the time like a 37-inch Sony. Then we went and got a 40-inch, and we set them side by side and just went through a Mass Effect. And then we went through, God, we went through so many games, man. We played like every 360 game. We beat them both side by side. To me, that was great.
That's cool.
No sports involved. I'm not a sports guy. I'll play in NFL or NCAA games, but I'll never know what's going on in the real world. I'd rather know what's going on in Nintendo.
Yeah.
Speaking of Nintendo, what are your thoughts on Nintendo? The Wii U, they've come out themselves and said that the Wii U has not been the system that they envisioned.
They got some strong games this Christmas. They got a new Zelda for the DS, and they got the new Mario Brothers for the Wii U.
Yeah.
But all anybody's talking about are the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. And these are probably the two best games that came out this Christmas. The new Nintendo games. The problem, I think, is that they're just left behind. They came out with a last generation console last year. The Wii was a phenomenon, right? Because it was the first time everybody had motion controls. Anybody could play it. Wii Sports was an absolute genius move because it sold systems like crazy. If you were to see that, you said, I want to bring that home. I want to do it at my house. But the problem was that core gamers are the guys that are actually going to support this thing long term. They just got left behind with the Wii. And the Wii U, I think a lot of them just didn't buy it. I bought one. I got one here. But to be honest with you, the kids don't like it that much. They play the 360 more.
That's what I heard you saying. Yeah, your kids don't even play it anymore.
No.
So is it becoming more of a gimmick now? To me personally, that's what I think will happen with the Wii. When the Wii came, my initial Wii I was vandalized. Somebody stole it, so I went out the next week and bought another one, and it was great. Everybody spent tons of hours playing the Wii.
Wii bowling
Wii Sports.
and Wii tennis.
Yeah, it was great. But after a while, you kind of want to sit down and play a video game.
You want to sink your teeth into something.
Yeah, and the Wii doesn't seem to have a lot of third-party support for the hardcore gamers, or people who really want to jump off of a building and stab somebody in the neck, and then or play a real hardcore game. Now they got Bayonetta, Bayonetta 2. They got Call of Duty. They got Watch Dogs coming.
That's coming to the Wii U?
Yeah, Watch Dogs is coming to the Wii U. I mean, these games could potentially turn the tide, or kind of at least put Nintendo back in the
I don't know.
favor
Come on.
of
Are you going to
some.
want to play Watch Dogs on the Wii U, or are you going to want to play it on the PS4?
Are you asking me a serious
Yeah,
question?
I know what you want to do. Is you want to play it on the PS4. The Wii U is left behind.
The Wii U, yeah, you saw the first episode, me and Lewis Lyles.
Yeah.
He's a big Nintendo fan, and I don't agree with what he said at all about Nintendo. Nintendo, yeah, they created a last generation console and marketed it as a next gen. And anyone, Xbox One or PS4, if there's any third party games or cross platform games, you'll never buy it on the Wii U ever.
No.
So the only thing
it's good for is Nintendo games, and they make awesome games.
Yes. That's the thing, Nintendo does have a knack for creating these games that spark your imagination. You got Mario, but until they come up with something that is as groundbreaking as like Mario 64 was, it's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, even the new Zelda game, everybody's loving it, but it looks exactly like Link to the Past. And the new Mario game looks like a Mario game. It's nothing revolutionary like Mario 64.
It looks like the ones that came out on here. I mean, it looks like this.
Yeah.
It's just repackaged. They put a fresh coat of paint on it and market it, to a group of people who didn't have anything to play on the Wii U. Who knows what happened with it? What are your as far as Nintendo and this console, what do you see happening? Do you think they're going to shut down shop and wait and recreate?
I don't know. Hopefully the magic will come back for Nintendo. But I'll tell you another thing that's really hurting Nintendo is Minecraft. when the kids aren't playing a console, their real passion is getting on the computer and playing Minecraft.
Yeah,
They'll play it on
you were
360 if they have to, but they want to play it on the computer because it's a completely different game on the computer. There's so many options. It's not just, running around building stuff. It's, playing factions or playing this game or playing that game. There's a million different ways to play Minecraft. And once you understand the rule set, you just get better and better and better at it. It's an amazing thing. And the creativity involved in Minecraft makes it easy as a parent to say, yeah, play some Minecraft. That's great.
My 12-year-old and 11-year-old, my boys, they are Minecraft fanatics,
yeah.
right? And me personally, I've never ever played it. And now it sounds like you know a little bit about Minecraft. Is it worth me delving into? I'm a creative person.
I don't get into it. The most I got into it is I actually found a Modern Warfare 3 deathmatch on Minecraft. So it was literally, I was playing Modern Warfare 3. It was like a Minecraft skin. I'm sorry, it was a Modern Warfare 3 skin Minecraft. So it was like you're playing Minecraft and you're throwing snowballs instead of firing weapons, but you're playing a map of Modern Warfare 3. And I was wasting fools because I knew the map.
Wow, so you can really create
anything. I mean, you can do whatever you want, and that's what's so cool about it. And you can play it, you can relax with it and just lean back and start building your dream house. Or you can start playing like these, mini games that they have. Like there's one that they play a lot where you got all these islands in the sky, and the goal is to be the last person still on top of the islands. And you're throwing snowballs to knock other people out, or bow and arrows, or building bridges to other people's island. So there's a million things you can do with the game, and I think that's really cool. That's I think the coolest part about Minecraft. I'm just not into it.
And that's and that's hurting Nintendo because it's not on a Nintendo.
It's hurting Nintendo because it's taking the mind share of their core their core audience, and it's pulling them away from the Wii U and the 3DS.
I'd hate to see Nintendo. I'd hate to see Nintendo go the way of the dodo. Nintendo was the first console I ever had, just like you. I go back all the time and play Simon's Quest, Castlevania, Karnov, getting back into Mario 3. They have a special place in my heart. But the thing is, with Nintendo, as most people know, they kind of walk to the beat of their own drum. They don't consider themselves in any console war. They think they're doing what's best for them. Whether or not they succeed or not, right now it looks like they're not at the moment. But Nintendo has so much money, they can fail 50 times and they'll be fine.
The NES, though, I mean, it had other games. Like, I was thinking about Strider for the NES, or, there's a million amazing games. I remember playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the NES. And
Arcade, right? Arcade?
Yeah, I can't remember. Was that... I might have had that for the Super Nintendo.
It all depends on which one you're talking about. Now, one of them was a side scroll where you go down in the sewers.
Yeah, I had that one. I had both of them. I had one for the Super Nintendo. I think it was the arcade version.
Turtles is fantastic.
Yeah, I was a big fan when I was a kid.
There's like a handful of good Wii games, though. I mean, Wii U games.
Yeah, I don't know what they are. I just haven't been paying attention.
Yeah, I don't know. What's good on...
I don't really know.
My buddy, I told him the day that I got my free PlayStation 4, for those who don't know.
That's why they call him the Beastly Gamer.
I got my PS4 and I called him and told him what happened, and he texted me back. He said, "If that happened to me, I would have bought you a Wii U." No, sir, can't do that. But to me personally, until they come up with something like a Smash Brothers, something that's going to really warrant my purchase, these Mario games are more the same. This Mario 3, this one here, it's doing great. It's got great reviews across the board, and it may be worth playing once I have a Wii U. But that alone, right now, is not going to make me say, "Oh, let me go ahead and buy one." Just to
for me personally, they're not enough to really hold my attention for hours at a time. They're perfect for a 3DS where, I'm watching kind of a boring TV show, so I might as well play a little Mario while I'm like not really paying attention. You know what I mean? They're a distraction. They're not. It's not Fallout 3 where I can soak myself into this world for hours and hours and just be totally involved in it. Mario, it's light, it's an adventure, but it's not really drawing me in like it used to when I was a child.
You just made me want to go play Fallout 3.
That game was amazing.
Oh my god, that game blew my mind. And when I met Kate, I already beat it like 3 times. I started playing that, and I think for like 3 or 4 days, she just sat next to me watching. Fallout 3 is one. Oh man. amazing game. Bethesda
I
is
can't wait for
excellent.
Fallout 4 on
Yeah.
the new systems.
Oh yeah. Well, let's just hopefully this whole 720p situation with the Xbox One gets addressed. Now they're holding back 10% of their uh, their CPU power for the UI,
Mm-hmm.
for the user interface for the Xbox One. Hopefully they're able to tap into that a little bit. I don't know if that's the issue as to why games are like, I think Dead what is it? Dead Rising is only running 30 frames per
Oh,
second,
really? I don't.
720p.
I didn't know that. I mean, it looks good and it runs fine.
I know it looks good, but the thing is, there's so much going
Yeah.
on, especially when all that's going on. It's really hard to notice. But it's running 30 frames per second, 720p, and I know that the 720 and 1080p doesn't matter to a lot of people. But like, if you have a really nice TV and you have a console that can run a game natively at that resolution, you're gonna feel
Yeah.
good about it. When you turn it on, you're gonna see it and say, "This is the best that it gets right now." You don't want a really nice TV and you have a new next gen console, and especially a game that you know is running at a higher resolution on another console, and you look and say, "Oh God, it's only 720." You're gonna feel bad with it being upscaled. So I mean, me personally, I hope that Microsoft finds a way to work through that so that the competition narrows. Once it gets a little bit tighter, Sony will start working
Yeah.
harder. Microsoft will work harder. Right now, people, especially people who only look at things at the tech end, they're like PS4 is better. Just on a
Yeah.
technical level.
The PS3
It
was better than the 360 though too. I mean, there's no doubt about
Yeah,
it.
but
When you
it
saw a first party game
much harder.
on the PS3, it looked fantastic. But what ended up happening is the 360 had such a large install base that all the third party developers developed their games for the 360, poured them over the PS3, and then
It was much harder for them to
it was
develop
hard. Yeah.
for the PS3. The game infrastructure was much harder for them to
Yeah,
port
that
these
cell
games over
processor.
to the PS3. And so the cell
Yeah.
processor. Thank goodness they did away with all that, and they went kind of with like a PC
Yeah.
infrastructure here. You got 8 gigs of GDDR3, a GDDR5 RAM for the PS4, and you got to admit, man, this thing is blazing
Oh, yeah.
fast. It's
Absolutely.
incredibly fast. Oh man, you guys might see me on the next episode of Cheaters because Kate came in the room and caught me like this. It's great. This thing is so fast. I mean, when I first booted it up, and I just, you're in the middle of a game, you hit the PlayStation button, and bam, it's lightning fast. Now, as far as the Xbox One, can you do something similar like that? Can you be in the middle of a game and go right back to the UI? And
Yeah,
go
it's
right,
got this snap feature, so you can say like snap and have one window up here while your main window over here is your game, or kind of vice versa. I think you could do like TV here. I don't have a cable box. I haven't had cable in like 6 years,
Smart
so
guy.
I have no idea how this stuff works.
Yeah. It's cable if you got internet. Jeez.
I know.
I don't see the point. My little brother, he just had a baby, and he called me and said, "Hey man, I just got my cable hooked up." I said, "Yeah, I've had internet for like 15 years."
Yeah.
It's really no point. Anything you can do on cable, you can do with the internet probably fast.
Yeah, I've got kind of Roku boxes and Apple TVs kind of strewn throughout the house, and it's just so much more useful.
Yeah. So the Xbox One and the PS4, the future is bright for these consoles. I love them. Me personally, I'm going to wait for a while. Probably. Now, you said there probably won't be a price drop for a while for the Xbox One.
I mean, I don't have any insight into Microsoft that anybody else has. I don't have that. So my feeling is that they at least won't do it for a year. I mean, they're going to want to get 2 Christmases out of this thing. It costs them $471 to make it. So they're not making any money now. I can't see them doing a reduction.
Yeah, and I think that it's like $90 more than the PS4 to make.
Yeah.
So Sony at least is making a little something on the console.
Yeah, maybe if they took the Kinect out and started selling it for $400, but
that'd be even harder though, Brian, because they actually built this console with the Kinect in mind. Yeah. It's like taking the heart out of the machine.
Yeah.
You want all the voice functionality, and a lot of people love it. I've talked to a lot of guys who say, "Hey man, this voice functionality really is the future." Do you use it a lot? Now, you don't do the cable thing.
My gaming monitor is sitting right next to my computer. My controller is right here. It's like it's almost less effort for me to just reach my hand out and grab my controller than it is to say something, So no, I don't use it a ton. It does work though. I mean, it works like as advertised, like 90% of the time.
Now, have you found any issues learning the specified phrases? Now, it doesn't use it doesn't recognize like real language like Siri or things like that. You actually have to say pre-scripted things. Like you can't say blank box, do this. You have to say go to, or like if you're playing a game, go to 4 or 5. You can't just say play it.
Yeah, it's
You
pretty
can't
it's
just
pretty intuitive once you kind of get a hold of it. I can see people having an issue right off the bat, but I did see, I think somewhere on the internet last week, I saw a guide come out that had like a full listing of all the controls, and they're pretty intuitive. Like I don't
now.
want
I
to
gotta
say
ask
them,
you a question.
or this will be the end of the call. But
Let me ask you a question. You really inspired me into wanting to become a YouTuber and get out here and share my thoughts on the video game industry in general.
that's really
As
nice
you
to
know, I'm a
hear.
gamer.
Thank you very much.
It's very, very true. What inspired you to want to do this?
I used to watch X-Jaws and Onslaught and Woody's Gamertag. I have ADHD, right? So I can't stop thinking. I can't stop doing stuff. And even at night, going to sleep, it's hard for me to fall asleep. I've always had to have a TV on, or lately it's been my iPad. I'll just put an earbud in my iPad and watch YouTube videos until I just fall asleep. Because it doesn't matter why. That's what I do. So I started watching guys on YouTube saying, like, this is great. I can't believe that, these guys can, get paid for this. This is amazing. And then, I was like, I've always wished that I've had friends in real life that I've been able to talk about video games with, because it's always been a passion for me. It's always been something I've been really interested in. But the people I grew up with, and the people that I've spent, meat space time with, I've never really been into it. And so it's always been kind of like a lonely passion for me. Not something I'm embarrassed about, just something that there's nobody else who cares. So to me, it just seemed like an outlet. Hey, finally I could talk to people like in real, about what I'm interested in. It just seemed like so much fun that I had to start doing it. And I started doing it, and it's been a blast ever since. I just hit 2,000 subscribers on Thanksgiving Day. And I can't, I made a video talking about like how excited I was about just the comment section alone, because it stayed so positive. Gaming channels have this bad reputation, I'm sure you know, with like a lot of hate being in the comment section and a lot of bad stuff. I just haven't had that on my channel, and it's been awesome. I don't know why. It's just been great.
Well, the thing is, something I've noticed about you, you kind of have a disposition kind of like Woody's. You seem like an everyman's guy. You don't seem to be overly critical, and you more often than not seem to be an optimist.
I'd rather talk about stuff I love than stuff I hate.
Good. Hopefully we can do this again soon.
Absolutely.
I really enjoyed sharing this time with you, BriarRabbit. For those who don't know, check out BriarRabbit on YouTube. He's a great guy. He loves talking about video games. He will destroy me in Call of Duty. And I am the Beastly Gamer. Check me out on YouTube. We appreciate your time, guys. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll post this on both channels so that everybody can share and link to the other guy's channel. All right, see you later, Beastly. I'm going to stop the recording.